Middleman TV, and today I'm going to elaborate on my pound for pound top 10 pound for pound list, why I placed the fighters where I placed them, the honorable mentions, why I had them where I had them, and yeah. All right, so we're going to start with number one, Terrence Bud Crawford. The reason I have Terrence Bud Crawford pound for pound number one right now, he beat Errol Spence in dominating fashion. To me, that was the most dominating win I've seen from a fighter fighting another guy in the top 10 in a long, long time. So that much of a marquee win, in my opinion. And then on top of it, his resume is not bad to me. It could be a little better, but has a very good resume. Beat Sean Porter, who to me gave everyone problems. You know what I'm saying? Beat Victor Postal. Beat Jeff Horn. Got some good wins. Got some good wins on his resume, so he's clear cut number one for me, and that's why Terrence Bud Crawford's number one. Number two on the list, Nayu Inoue. You know, Nayu Inoue achieving greatness in the short amount of time that he did, dominating victory over Stephen Fulton, who I considered a great fighter at the time he did it. I think Nayu Inoue's resume could be a little bit better. A lot of people, hype up some of the names like a Marlon Tapales and an old Donaire and stuff like that. But nonetheless, still a great resume. And Nayu Inoue does finish the job. He gets very exciting knockouts, so he's a very good finisher. Had a tremendous year. I do think he has to up his resume a little bit more, but it's not his fault that people don't really know the smaller weight divisions names. So that's why Nayu Inoue will be number two on my list. Like I said, very deserving for Nayu Inoue, but he has to up his resume a little bit more. A lot of people just, besides me, the average casual fan just doesn't know the names on his list. Number three for me is Devin the Dream Haney. Devin Haney went into Australia and beat George Kambosos, beat him twice. You guys can say what you want about George Kambosos not being that skilled, not being a good fighter. He beat Teofimo Lopez, who's on my pound for pound list. So that's a marquee win, whether you like it or not. He beat Vasily Lomachenko, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He beat Regis Prograis before Regis Prograis got absolutely dismantled by Devin Haney. Everyone thought Regis Prograis was a worthy opponent, so we're not going to go back on our word now. He's still a worthy opponent, and it's a good win. Devin Haney has a tremendous resume. Beat Jojo Diaz, beat Gamboa early in his career. I mean, Devin Haney has done a lot in a short amount of time, and that's why for me, he's number three on the list, and it's clear cut for me. You know what I'm saying? Number four on the list for me is Dimitri Bivol. The reason I have Dimitri Bivol on the list is because Dimitri Bivol dominated Gilberto Ramirez. He dominated Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, to me, has the best resume in boxing today. And Dimitri Bivol beat him so easily. Dimitri Bivol, when I watch his skill set and I watch he's a puncher and a boxer, which is my favorite type of fighter, just like a Nayu Inoue, just like a Crawford. And Bivol is just so underrated, man. No one talks about him. And I just feel like, for me personally, since no one talks about him or shows him the love that he deserves, I'll show him the love that he deserves. He dominated Canelo. I feel like if he fought Canelo 5 more times, he'd beat him 5 more times. He's just better than Canelo. And that is why Dimitri Bivol is number 4 on my list. Number 5, Canelo Alvarez. The reason Canelo Alvarez is number 5 on my list, Canelo Alvarez has the best resume in boxing. Got in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, didn't win. Beat, you know what I'm saying? Beat the Charlo, beat Caleb Plant, beat Miguel Cotto, beat Shane Mosley. The list goes on. I mean, he has like 7 or 8 Hall of Fame wins on his resume. That alone speaks volumes. A lot of people think Canelo's a cheater. I have my doubts too, but man, if we do that, then this pound for pound list would take all day, because we don't know who's really cheating and who's not. And there's a lot of speculations around a lot of boxes when it comes to cheating. So for me, Canelo Alvarez is number 5 on the list. No doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? Number 6 for me is Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson had a bad performance against Edwin De Los Santos, but he still won the fight, and it was very clear cut that he won the fight. You know what I'm saying? And for me personally, like, Shakur Stevenson has the great skill set. He doesn't get hit. The defense is there. You know what I'm saying? He's got a good resume for his age. Beating Jamal Herring, beating Oscar Valdez, beating Edwin De Los Santos. It's a good resume at his age. Very, very good so far, and I think he's only going to achieve more greatness. I only expect great things from Shakur Stevenson going forward. I don't expect regression. I expect him to get better. So that's why Shakur Stevenson is number 6 on my list. No doubt about it. Number 7 on my list. Now this is the person on my list, number 7 on my list, that a lot of people did not agree with me on, and a lot of people think I'm insane for. This one was real subjective, and I base this one a lot off skills, not really off resume, because sometimes I know you can't always go off the eye test, because the eye test can be deceiving. But my eye test is not deceiving for this one. Jaron Boots Ennis is number 7. I mean, he's clear cut dominating. He's the boogeyman at 147. That's a fight I wouldn't even want my number 1 fighter, Terrence Crawford, to fight. So I just think a lot of Jaron Boots Ennis. I think he deserves to be on this list, because I just don't think there's 10 boxers out there that are better than Jaron Boots Ennis, resume or not. You just got, and that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, other people might have their reasons, but on Middleman TV, we base things off the facts. And I just think Jaron Boots Ennis is a top 10 fighter in this nation right now, and that's why he is number 7 on my list. Period. Point blank. Number 8, Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez. The way Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez dominated Sonny Edwards, who I considered a really good fighter. I expected Sonny Edwards to, he was winning some rounds, but Jesse Bam Bam is just different, man. He's in them lower weight classes, so a lot of people don't talk about Jesse Bam Bam, but he definitely deserves to be on that pound for pound list. He's number 8 for me, and I can expect to continue to see great things from him moving forward. Number 9, Arthur Beterbiev. Obviously, Arthur Beterbiev is a great, he's got 100% knockout ratio. The man does not look to go the distance ever. And quite frankly, he never does go the distance. Oh shit, y'all, my fault. Quite frankly, he never does go the distance. Arthur Beterbiev, he's not busy. I don't like that. The way he beat Yarde, that's a great win. He's got some good wins. He's fighting Callum Smith in a week and a half. I want to see how he does there. That's why I have him so high, his inactivity, and I just got to see more, and he's old. So that's why he's number 9 on the list, but he's still a dominating force in the division and in the boxing world. So he's number 9 on my list. And number 10 to close out the list, Teofimo Lopez, baby. How can you not have a guy on the list that went through adversity? Teofimo Lopez has been through the most adversity to me in boxing, especially at his age, man. Going through the divorce that he went through with his gold digging wife, and then to lose to a guy like George Kambosos. Most people would not recover from that loss. And Teofimo Lopez did. You know what I'm saying? He recovered. He did have a lackadaisical performance against Sandor Martin, but then he followed up with a tremendous performance against Josh Taylor. A lot of people want to say Josh Taylor fell off, but Josh Taylor was really that bull for a long time, you know what I'm saying? And Teofimo Lopez dominated that fight. And now Teofimo Lopez, I think, is going to prove once again how great he is when he fights Jermaine Ortiz February 8th, who's a really notable name in my opinion. And after that, you know what I'm saying? That'll basically solidify Teofimo Lopez being on the pound for pound list. Now we'll talk about the honorable mentions. For me, a lot of people get mad at me and say, why is David Benavidez not on the list? For me personally, he's the interim champion. He hasn't won no real belt. His resume is there. And his dominance is definitely there too for David Benavidez. Beating Andre, I like Andre. That's a good resume to me. And Caleb Plant, that's a good resume. But you haven't won no belts, and it is what it is. You're an honorable mention. You could definitely be in the top 10. I wouldn't be mad if someone had him in the top 10. He's just not in my top 10. To me, he's right there. But honorable mention is where I got him at. Gervonta Tank Davis, to me, has the most overrated resume in boxing. I was not impressed with the Hector Garcia win. Ryan Garcia is a good fighter, but he hasn't fought nobody, so it shouldn't really be the weight. The weight behind that win, they give Gervonta so much credit for beating Ryan Garcia, but to me, it's not a huge win from a resume standpoint. To me, Gervonta Davis's best win might be Mario Barrios. It's debatable, but to me, it's Mario Barrios, and Mario Barrios is winning a lot of that fight. He won a lot of rounds. Gervonta Davis, I'm just looking at everything. The eye test tells me he should be somewhere in the top 10, but his resume, his mindset, his lack of wanting to be great and chasing legacy, to me, taunts his rankings. So he's not in my top 10, and that's what it is. Alexander Usyk, great fighter, had great amateur pedigree. moved all the way up from cruiserweight to heavyweight, dominated, beat bigger men. Definitely should be in the top 10. My Why he's not in my top 10 personally, and it's only one reason, is I thought Dubois landed that body shot. I thought it was a clean body shot. And if they count that as a clean body shot, Alexander Usyk gets knocked out and loses to Daniel Dubois. So I factor that in. I don't care what anybody else says. And for that reason alone, Alexander Usyk's not in my top 10. But for that controversial loss or win with Daniel Dubois, I think he'd still be in my top 5. But for that reason alone, he's not in the top 5. And yeah, that pretty much sums up my pound for pound list. The comment, y'all opinions, y'all pound for pound list, what y'all think I got wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of this. And make sure to hit that like button, man. I'm gone, y'all. Peace, love.